we'll just begin. Sorry if you hear any background noises. There are like children screaming and like builders next door. And there's a car that's playing really loud music just right now, just outside. So that's really fun. Anyway, I have my Letterboxd profile up on my laptop, and in February I watched 13 films, the same as last month, which is kind of strange. And I think in the last film video I did, I said that the films that I watched were like all very different, and they were all from different genres, and like it was strange that I'd watched such a wide range of films. I'm gonna say the same thing again. I feel like I've watched a wide range of films, and like films that I didn't think I would watch, or like types of films that I didn't think I would watch. So that was fun. So let's begin. My stomach just rumbled, so that's another noise that we're gonna have to deal with. Okay, the first film I watched on the 1st of February to kick the month off strong was Argyle. This came out I think at the end of January, and so I watched it in the cinema. And it's got Bryce Dallas Howard, that guy, what's that guy's name? Sam Rockwell, Henry Cavill, just Dua Lipa, John Cena. There's a lot of people in it. But it's basically about this author called Ellie Conway who writes like espionage, like spy novels, and the stories that she's writing also take place in the real world. So like this spy organisation is like obviously trying to stop the Ellie Conway like from writing about all their secrets and like giving away stuff. So they basically try and like stop her from writing the books. I think the synopsis says, yeah, accompanied by her cat Alfie and Aidan, a cat allergic spy, Ellie races across the world to stay one step ahead of the killers as the line between Conway's fictional world and her real one begin to blur. So yeah, I rated it 3 stars out of 5. There were some good things that I liked about it, but the main bad thing was that it was quite a slow moving film, and I went into it not knowing a lot. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long, which again, like I've watched longer films, but it was a very slow, like some parts were very slow, and I was kind of sat there like, okay, carry on, like keep going. But and like at the beginning I had got no idea what was happening, but other than that, it's like a good film, so that's why I rated it 3 stars out of 5. Was it the best film? No, but that's okay. Okay, the second film I watched was the start of a journey that I didn't know I was going to go down, which was the world of Studio Ghibli. You know what I mean. I watched Howl's Moving Castle. If you don't know what I'm on about, it's basically, I would call them animated films, but I would say anime. I've never watched an anime or a You can watch them on Netflix. Well, that's where I watched it. So that was that. Then the next film I watched was Shark Tale. I've never seen Shark Tale, and I'm very glad that I watched it. This is just about a shark. It's basically about a shark called Lenny, cute name, who like is the opposite of a great white shark. Like, he doesn't want to like kill things and be like violent and like what people think of when they think of a great white shark. He's a vegetarian, so it's just an animated children's film about a shark and a fish, and it's cute. I rate it 3 stars out of 5 because I've definitely seen better films like from a similar genre, but it was still like cute. That was a really poor explanation of the film, but I feel like you just have to watch it, which is great. That's a good piece of advice from me. The next film I watched was another anime Japanese film. It was called From Up on Poppy Hill, and I loved this film. I rated it 4 stars out of 5, and my review is, it's not a very good review. It's a roller coaster, because I'll read you the synopsis because quite a lot happens. I think, in my opinion, a lot of it happens, and I feel like my poor explanational skills are not going to cut it. So, a group of Yokohama students fight to save their school's clubhouse from the wrecking ball during preparations for the 1964 Tokyo Olympic Games. While working there, Umi and Shun gradually become attracted to each other, but have to face a sudden trial. Even so, they keep going without the fleeing. Even though they keep going without fleeing the difficulties of reality. That also doesn't really explain what happens, but you have to watch it to find out. It's just a cute film, and I preferred it to Howl's Moving Castle actually. And I don't know a lot of people that have watched this film, whereas I feel like a very popular Studio Ghibli film is Howl's Moving Castle. So, I don't know. Anyway, the next film I watched was another Japanese film, and I watched Spirited Away, which again is another like popular film, and this was very weird. It's about a girl called Chihiro, and she becomes trapped in like this strange world of like, I guess kind of like ghosts or like spirits, because it's called Spirited Away, and she is a human in this world full of like strange creatures and things like that, and she has to kind of like go on this journey, I guess, to like free her parents from being spirits. And this, it was very weird. Like, you have to sit and watch it. Like, you can't, like, it's not like an easy watch, like, in the background. For some people it might be, but like, I had to sit and watch it, because otherwise I wouldn't know what's going on. I rated 3 stars out of 5 because I'm still glad that I watched it. I just preferred like From Up on Poppy Hill and Howl's Moving Castle, but it was still very good. Yeah. The next film that I watched was, it's loading. We'll never know. Okay. The next film I watched was Past Lives. I kept seeing this on Netflix and on like just on social media in general, and it's basically a romance film. I rate it 4 stars Nora, who's in the United States, like just lives her life, gets a job, blah blah blah, and then the two friends like reconnect later in life, and it's just like a cute little film. Yeah. The synopsis is just basically what I've just said, but I'll read it anyway. Nora and Haesung, two childhood friends, are reunited in New York for one fateful week as they confront notions of destiny, love, and the choices that make a life. That tells you a lot. I feel like I need to get better on my reviewing skills. I'm gonna change my review to 3.5 stars out of 5. Okay, the next film I watched was Despicable Me 3 because it was on Netflix and I thought I actually wanted to watch Despicable Me, like the first one. Couldn't find it anywhere. So Despicable Me 3 it was. This I rated 2.5 stars out of 5 because Despicable Me 1 and 2 are better than this one. It's basically when Gru like meets like his brother, his twin brother, and there's an evil person and the Gru and the minions have to stop him. But I guess that is what happens in every Despicable Me film. I believe it's on Netflix because the 4th one comes out this year. Anyway, moving on. The next film I watched was Sing 2. I really went down like an animated film rabbit hole this month. I love Sing 2. I don't know if it's better than the first one. I feel like they're on like quite the similar level. Like, I give this 3 stars out of 5. It's basically where like Buster, the little like koala, and his like theatre group or like singing group, go to like try and perform at like the big theatre, the big arena, and problems happen as they do, and will they get to perform on the big stage? You'll never know until you watch it. This is a 3 stars out of 5. The songs I think are better in this one than the first one. I think. I love it. It's so good. Okay, moving on. The next film I watched is another animated film, but it's a bit different. I watched SpiderMan Into the Spiderverse. I had never seen this. I never watched it in cinemas. I never watched it even when like the second one, like Across the Spiderverse, came out. And I don't know why, because this was so good. I rated this 4 stars out of 5. The animation was so good. I really liked the beginning of when it set the scene of like Brooklyn. I liked the music and I liked I don't know, I just liked the way it portrayed the city. And it's basically the origin story of Miles Morales. My throat made a weird noise. The origin story of Miles Morales, and he gets bitten by a radioactive spider. What a surprise. And then there's like Kingpin, what's her name? Spider-Gwen. Yeah. The Peter Parker Spider-Man. There's just lots of different characters. And this was really good. I really enjoyed it. I wish I watched it in the cinemas. And now I need to find Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse to watch. Because I think I'll really like that one as well. Okay. The next one I watched was The Outfit. I found this on Netflix. reports that it's won. This was on Netflix, I believe. It was nothing like what I thought it would be. Like, even when I read the synopsis before I watched it, I was still like, yeah, cool, whatever. It was just nothing like what I expected. I can't remember if it's a 15 or an 18. I feel like it's an 18, and I was looking at it like, why is this an 18? Like, what? It probably should be an 18. It's basically about this Korean family who are out of work. So there's two parents and then like a son and a daughter. The parents like struggle to find jobs. The children like can't afford to go to school or like college or like university. So the son finds a job as an English tutor in like this rich family's household, and he kind of weaves the rest of the family into this family's to get them jobs. So like the daughter becomes an art teacher for the rich family's son. The dad becomes like the chauffeur for the family. The mum becomes the housekeeper, and like they've all been employed by this rich family, and it basically, this thing happens and they get like entangled in this thing. It's just all complicated, and that is all I can say with my poor explanational skills, and the synopsis will say the same. It says, all unemployed, Ki-taek's family takes peculiar interest in the wealthy and glamorous parks for their livelihood, until they get entangled in an unexpected incident. See, although my explanational skills make no sense, I didn't give anything away. Okay, moving on. The next film I watched was Pulp Fiction, another film that I have not seen before, which I feel like could be a crime in many people's eyes. I did like this film. I rated 3.5 stars out of 5, which I feel like might be controversial. I feel like people will want me to rate it higher. Like on Letterboxd it's rated 4.3. But it's basically just about gangs and violence and crime, but it's cool. It's just about like different groups of people, like 3 groups of people. I'll read the synopsis, but I feel like most people will have watched it. A burger-loving hitman, his philosophical partner, a drug-addled gangster's mole, and a washed-up boxer converge in this sprawling comedic crime caper. I feel like my reading skills just need to get better. Their adventures unfurl in 3 stories that ingeniously trip back and forth in time. That doesn't really tell you what happens, but I feel like you just have to know, you just have to watch it. I would recommend it, but I feel like most people have seen it. This was on Netflix. I'm not really picking up the cinema industry right now. Okay, anyway, the last film I watched, I did watch in the cinema. And I watched Wicked Little Letters, which is a new film that you should go and watch in your local cinema. This has got Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley. It's based on a true story about a 1920s like English town. It's called Littlehampton, and there were a series of letters that got sent to people, like basically hurling abuse at them and like saying horrible things, and everyone, like all the like fingers pointed to this one woman, and everyone was like, yeah, it's her, like she's writing all these letters, and she gets arrested for it. And they was very funny. And it was, yeah, I would say it was a good film.